welcome back to the channel. Thank you for returning subscribers, newcomers. Go ahead and push the red subscribe button and join the family. Today, as you can see, we're going to cook some green beans. Not just any green beans, but my favorite green beans. We're going to get right into this. I'm going to show you the seasoning we use. We're going to use some minced garlic, parsley flakes, white pepper, ground ginger, sriracha seasoning, organic smoked paprika, crushed red peppers, tamari sauce, which is, you can use regular soy sauce. I just prefer the tamari sauce. And we're going to use grapeseed oil. If you have avocado oil, you can opt for that. I would prefer it. We've got our extra fine green beans, and we've got the peppers and onions blend, which has the red and the green peppers in it. And that's just making your life a little easier to have to cut up. But we are going to cut up some onion to start off our pan. Okay, we've got our onions here, and we're just going to take the tops and the bottoms off so that we can get that outer skin off. Let's make it easier. Go ahead and take that outer skin off. Okay, discard this. And, I like onions, so I don't hold back. And I love green beans, so I'm going to use quite a bit of those also. Got that top layer of skin. And what I'm going to do with these is pretty much I'm slicing them. Okay. And after I slice these, I'm just going to cut them in half. And I'm going to use the onions as is after I just slice them in half. Okay, so go ahead and just slice this. You slice the whole onion. Then we're just going to take in one cut, slice it in half. And this is what I'm going to get going in my pan first off, okay? Just these, and you can break them up or not. They'll eventually break up in the pan, so it'll be fine. Okay, now that we've got all our onions cut up the way we like them, at this point you can tell whether this is going to be enough onion for you. I'm going to use 2 16-ounce bags of the green beans. If you want to cut that a little thinner, you can. But I'm using 2 16-ounce bags of the green beans. Okay, we're going to, this one sliced. It's a little bit more. This one too. Okay. Got those cut up. Now we're going to go over to our pan and start getting the grease ready. Okay. We got our pan on. We want to get this grease nice and hot. 2-3 tablespoons of oil I'm going to put in here initially. I want to let that pan get hot, and then once that oil gets hot, we'll throw that garlic in first. Okay, we got our oils. You see here, I'm going to take a whole, probably a teaspoon. It's probably a teaspoon and a half. Well, we'll just do a teaspoon, and we'll add some if we have to add some. Teaspoon of this garlic. As you can see, we got that pan nice and hot the way I want it. I'm going to mix that around, and we're going to go ahead and throw our onions in here. Okay. Now I want to kind of get a burn on these onions because we're using frozen green beans and some of the vegetables we're using are frozen. It's going to be a content of water to it. And right now, getting the burn on these, we don't want that water to interrupt this burn that's going on. So we're going to go ahead and continue to stir these around with these onions nice and a little bit of a caramelize on them. And this is kind of my own rendition of what I call Japanese green beans. So I'm just letting those onions just really get a nice burn on them before I start adding the vegetables, and I'm going to have a water content to them. I'm thinking about adding a little mushrooms in them too. And those of you who cook a lot of mushrooms, you know, mushrooms has that water content to them also. So we're going to continue to watch our water as we're making this dish, because we still want it to have that nice burn on it. And once those green beans and things get added, we want those to have a nice burn on them too. Okay. Let's start adding some of our seasoning. We'll go ahead and put a little bit of these parsley flakes in here now. Yeah. Now be generous, because if I had fresh parsley, I'd probably add a whole bunch. So, you know, don't be afraid to put some seasoning on it. As long as the seasonings you're using do not have a salt content, you can pretty much go for broke. That's that white pepper and parsley we got on those onions. Oh, that is smelling divine. Just divine. Now, in remembrance that we're going to start adding the things that have a water content to them, we're going to put a halt on our seasoning until we can get some other things going in here. Whenever I find something in the refrigerator that can be useful, I'm going to use it. And here's my mushrooms, and I'm just going to put a couple cuts on these. They don't have to be small, but just so they'll be a little bit more spread out in the dish. Yeah, it doesn't have to be real small, just a little cut too. And we're going to go ahead and add these to the pan. Okay. Get those stirred around. Something going on with those. That's just beautiful. That's just lovely. Okay. We get our top and let those mushrooms kind of push some of that water out for a little bit, and we'll come back to this. Alright, that's what we want to see. Yeah, look at that. Now that's beautiful. Got a little burn on that, and we're going to start adding some more vegetables that we're using for this. Crack open a bag of those red peppers, red and green peppers. We'll go ahead and pour some of those in. Yeah, there you go. I'd say about, if you got a 16 ounce, well, this is 20 ounce bag, I put about half the bag in there. It's just up to you. It depends on how many green beans you're going to actually cook too. Okay? Now we're going to add this in. I buy that bag because of the red and the green peppers, not really because of the onions. Because I always add my own onions. Okay. We're going to put that top on that and let that release some of that water out of that too. Alrighty. Alright. As you can see, all this is done nicely. It's released a lot of that water. So all of the onions and things will be nice and tender. Now I'm adding the green beans because I want the green beans to be crisp. Okay? So that's one of the main reasons why I'm adding the green beans last. And as you can see, there is a water content to it, which that's okay. We will alleviate that. Yeah. And if some of the ends are on them, I don't mind that. You can pinch them off or not. Doesn't make me a bit of difference. I'm going to eat it all. Okay. Now that's that first bag. We'll add that. Really, for me, with the green beans, I'm just trying to defrost them, but they don't even need to be cooked barely at all. Just enough for them to get warm and get all these seasonings in them, and then they're beautiful for me. Okay? Now this is just one bag. If you find that's going to be enough for you, then you can go with the one bag, but if not, add the other one. But don't add it at this point because we want to be utilizing, releasing that water. This is at this point we're going to add our ground ginger. And with the ground ginger, we're going to at least a teaspoon, if not more. Just kind of depends on you. I'm putting some sriracha seasoning here. Each one of these seasonings, I'm going to get at least a half to a full teaspoon out of each one of them. But depending on what you like, you might want to back off, especially with the sriracha seasoning, because it's pretty strong. Your paprika, half a teaspoon is fine. And then, of course, your crushed red peppers, you want to watch that because that's going to give it a little zip too. Okay. There we go. Oh, that's just beautiful. See how that's releasing that water? We want that water to come up off of there. Because at some point, we do want to try and get a burn on our green beans, okay? So we're just going to keep mixing this around. And as we're mixing this around, you see that go? That's releasing that water from those green beans. Yeah, we want that to get released. Yeah, keep our stove up on high, because that's going to keep that moisture coming out of there. Okay, we're just going to let that keep releasing that moisture until we get some more out of that. And then we may, at that point, add the other green beans and then finish up the rest of our seasonings, and we'll be about done. Okay. Now we released a lot of that water out of there, and hopefully we're hoping we can get a little bit of a burn on these. Okay, this is beautiful. Now at this point we want to start adding some of this tamari sauce. Okay. This is just beautiful. At this point, I want to taste one of these green beans. Oh! That's just awesome. That is really, really awesome. Add maybe a teaspoon or two of your kosher salt, and then this should be the end of that. Oh, look at that. Yeah. Yeah. Now here, just putting a nice burn on it. You get a couple of blackened pieces. Once you start seeing that going on, you're done. This is beautiful. Now, if you have some sesame seed oil, you can add some of that at this point. But if not, whatever oil you have, put just a little teaspoon of that in here. And, sweetie, you're done. Yeah. This right here, it's done. Look at that. That's just beautiful. Now, try this out. See how you like it. Comment down below. Thanks for watching.